had some terrible chest pains, and I knew something was wrong. I told my wife to call 911, which she did, because I said I ain't gonna make it. I just said, okay, if I don't get to the hospital soon, I'm gonna die. That was painful. But they got here, and as soon as they got here, they were fixing to put the blood pressure cuff on my arm, and that's when I hit the floor and died.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Y'all already know what time it is, so say it with me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Whenever you are listening to this episode, I just want to come by and say hello and welcome to Stories of Hope podcast. Now, I know I said it, Happy Tuesday, and for a lot of y'all, it's Taco Tuesday. Ooh. But for us here at Mid-South Transplant Foundation, we call it Tell Your Story Tuesdays. Now, before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. So this is your first time tuning in. Welcome, welcome. I'm happy to have you with us on today. And hello, my name is ARTavius VZ, and I am your host and the digital communications coordinator here at Mid-South Transplant Foundation. Now, as a couple fun facts about me, I am a 16-year post-kidney transplant recipient, and I am the author of Becoming a Living Testimony, my journey through kidney disease and how it blessed my life, okay? So here at Stories of Hope podcast, I interview and share personal stories of patients, recipients, and donor families with the goal of giving hope, spreading awareness, and encouraging others to becoming registered organ and tissue donors. All right, so are y'all ready for today's episode? Because you know, your boys are always ready to hear somebody's story. So today, I think this is our very first heart transplant recipient. So I'm super excited about that. So without any further ado, could you guys help me welcome Mr. Richard Edmondson? Hello, Richard. How you doing? I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing good.
Good. I'm happy to have you with us on today. But before we get into your amazing story, could you do me a favor and introduce yourself for those who may not know you?
I'm Richard Edmondson. I'm 60 years old. I've been around seeing a lot of things. I was in management for 35 years. And since then, I had a heart transplant. Okay. And now I'm spreading the word, just telling everybody about what my life is like now and how you can help people.
Yes. All right. Yes. So I'm super excited again to have you with us on today. And as I say every time, you have the floor. Tell us your story.
Well, it's a good story to tell. I do not want to go through it again, but this is a story about one day, and me and my wife, we always were athletes, very trying to stay healthy all the time. We jogged 3 miles a night every night. We watched what we ate, all the good stuff, what we're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And then one Sunday, May 31st, 2015, we was here at the house, just got through doing some work on my fireplace and just didn't feel good. And I said, okay, since we're through with this, I want to sit down for a while. I thought I was coming down and getting the flu. But then all of a sudden, in a few minutes, I had some terrible chest pains, and I knew something was wrong. I told my wife to call 911, which she did, because I said I ain't gonna make it. I just said, okay, if I don't get to the hospital soon, I'm gonna die. That was painful. But they got here, and as soon as they got here, they were fixing to put the blood pressure cuff on my arm, and that's when I hit the floor and died. Died for 30 minutes. They could not get no pulse or nothing. They worked on me nonstop. And My family thought I wasn't going to make it. That they're going to come out and say I was dead. But I was dead for 30 minutes. They shocked me 17 times. They finally got a pulse after 30 minutes. And of course, they worked on me all the way to the hospital. It took them an hour and a half to get me stable to get on the ambulance. They took me to the hospital. The hospital was trying to get me set up stable to get to Memphis. And of course, they couldn't fly me. They was going to fly me in, but the weather was bad. And they called the ambulance. They got sent the ambulance from Baptist East up to Cuffington to pick me up. And the strange thing about that, the driver of the ambulance, daughter, worked for me. She was one of my employees. And there was a lot of things that happened. We had the best first responders in the county was voted. Best ER doctor was at Tipton County Hospital, Baptist.
Okay.
Then we had, when I got down to Memphis, they got me down there to Memphis. Luckily, Covington Hospital called ahead because there was 7 ambulances before I got there. And they said, you want to go somewhere else. They said, no, we called ahead, let's get them in. So everything just kind of played out, was laid out the whole way.
Right.
And plus on call down there was the best, Dr. Smith from Stern. She was on call, thank goodness, and she's probably one of the best ones around, heart doctors. And people's all been waiting, would love to have her as a doctor. They is on her waiting list, trying to get, be on her, to be wanted to see her. But luckily I was on call and she was taking care of me. But the biggest thing was they didn't think I was going to make it through the night. They told my wife, you need to pray because it's going to take a miracle to get him through the night. And with a lot of prayer, I mean, people were praying. We had people praying overseas, over in Ireland, other countries.
Prayer warriors everywhere.
It was just the word got out.
Yeah.
And that's what saved me, was prayer and God. God had a mission for me because he pulled me through it. And one of the things that was the next day or so, they said, okay, he made it through the night. Okay. They was going to check my brain activity because for being dead for 30 minutes, they was afraid I wouldn't have no brain activity.
Okay.
Had to. But he came in, set all the thing up. My wife was fixing to leave. And she said something to me, and the needle moved on the equipment. He said, well, hang on a second. He said something to me, and I didn't respond to him. But when my wife said something to me, all the needles, I responded to her. So they kept her in there. And she said, you responded to my voice. I said, of course. We've been married 40 years. And I couldn't have done it without her. But they said, he knows you're there. He knows you're here. He's listening to you.
Yeah.
So I got better. And then I had a widowmaker heart attack. I had so much damage. I was going to try to live, but my heart had so much damage to it. I had to do something. If I was going to stay like this, I was going to die. So the only option I had was a transplant, heart transplant. Me and my wife talked about it, and we said, let's do this. Let's get a new heart, because I wanted to be around for my grandkids.
Right. So
we talked about it, and we said, okay, let's do it. So Stern, they switched me over to Dr. Todd Edwards at Stern. And he was in charge of the transplant down at Baptist East. Okay. He'd be my doctor. There was a lot of stuff we had to go through to prepare for the heart transplant. It's not just going into the hospital, getting a transplant.
Right.
They're going to teach you. You got to go through classes.
Right.
You got to take tests. My wife had to take tests on different things that she would know everything.
Right. So she'll be aware of if something was to happen, she was well equipped to be able to take care of you if something was to happen.
We had to know every option, what was going to happen.
Yeah.
What things would affect me. Like my chance of getting skin cancer jumped 65% after I got a transplant. They told you everything up front, and they wanted you to understand that. And then they wanted them to look at you and say, okay, are you going to take care of this heart? We're going to give you a heart when we get one, but we want to make sure you're going to do everything in your power to live a healthy life and take care of this heart that we're going to give you. And so we went through a big course. We had one day, it was 13 or 15 doctor's visits that day. You had to go, you had to see nutritionists, you had dietitians, psychiatrists, all the different nurses, all the different doctors. You had to meet them all. And that's probably about 30 of them, seem like.
Right. They want to make sure before they give you a heart, and they can trust you that you will take care of this heart.
And they wanted to see if you was going to make it to all the visits. And we did. We made it to every visit, was on time. We was going every day for I don't know how long. And then finally, it took months to get through that. It wasn't just a short thing like a week.
Yeah.
We went through months of, they gave us a big old book to look at. You got to learn all that. What? So my wife worked with that. She read all of it. We was talking about it. She understood it really well. And the thing was, she was beside me the whole way. I would not have done this if I didn't have somebody like her beside me.
The caregivers are very important.
She held me together. You got to have your support team.
Yeah.
And she's my
definitely.
And of course, I got all the other people, all the nurses and stuff like that at Baptist East in the transplant wing. They're amazing nurses, doctors. They took care of me. I was in there over 3 months. I went in probably in January. I had my heart attack on May the 31st, 2015. I went in there in January. And the night I got my heart, man, it was 1 year later, May the 31st, 2016.
So a year from the heart attack.
Yeah.
Wow.
We was laughing about it. She was going to come home and take care of some stuff around here. And I said, we was joking about it. Wouldn't it be nice to get her heart today? I said, well, that ain't going to happen. But all the nurses came in around 10 o'clock at night. They said, we got a heart for you. I could not believe it. I thought they was joking. I said, no, this is not.
Don't be playing now.
No, this is not. And I called my wife. I said, are you still up? Yeah. Well, guess what? She couldn't believe it. I said, I got a heart.
Yeah.
So, of course, she had to come back down there. So, but she couldn't believe it. It was almost the exact time.
That's an amazing anniversary to get it a year after you had it out. Wow.
So you knew there was something special going on.
Yeah.
And people say, wasn't you worried about getting a transplant? I said, no, God brought me through the heart attack. He didn't bring me through the heart attack just to let me die here. There's a reason why he wanted me to live.
Yeah.
And that is, and my thought is, we are going to share this, and we're going to share this with other people. And I'm going to tell as many people I can about it.
Yeah.
Because I was very lucky. I was blessed.
Yeah.
I had my beautiful wife. She was amazing through the whole thing. I don't see how she did it. She was having to take care of
It's
the house
right.
and everything here, plus come down there back and forth to see me and take care of what I need.
Right. God put those special people in our lives for those special reasons. We may not know in the beginning, but when something as serious as you said, like a heart attack happened, it's amazing. And like caregivers do not get enough credit for what they do, because a lot of times without caregivers that's in the house or in the home with us, I mean, outside of our nurses and doctors and everything, the caregivers that's in the house or in house with us, they don't get enough credit because because for me it was my mom, but they really don't get enough credit.
Well, I tell you, my wife was by me the whole time. Anytime she had to do so much stuff, and I couldn't have made it through without her. And after I did my transplant, this is what I'm doing now. Part of what I'm doing now. We were sitting here, and she was saying, "Why don't you, instead of sitting there and doing nothing," which I was doing nothing, right? Because I worked for 35 years in management, and then all of a sudden, nothing. So I was just sitting down, not doing nothing. She said, "Get up, go out and take some classes. Don't just sit around. Let's take some classes. Just keep busy. There's Irisburg State out here, in Covington." So I said, "Okay." So I went out there, and of course, what I've been through has got my interest in medicine, in the medical field. I want to do everything I can to learn as much as I can. So I went out there. I took everything I could take at Dyersburg State, graduated with associate degree in medical administration. I was certified phlebotomist, medical technician, EKGs, and now I graduated there. Now I'm at the University of Memphis, and I'm taking. My major is administration management, hospital healthcare administration management.
Yeah,
and my minor is
amazing.
I got a minor in anthropology, and
that's amazing just to see
so much, and it's keeping my brain busy,
right?
Because I lost a lot of memory from all the time I was dead for 30 minutes. I can look at pictures, but I don't remember things.
Okay.
But I do remember everybody. There's a few people I didn't know, but I knew their face, but I couldn't remember their names. But it's coming back to me, and I think that's because I'm going to class, studying.
Right. Yeah, because you're constantly keeping your mind working, and it's amazing. After you had the transplant, you decided to go and educate yourself more on the field, so you can have even more to share when you're sharing your story and educating other people about transplantation and all of this stuff. So that's amazing.
I just enjoy it. I just enjoy the studying. Learning stuff. It's a lot different now than when I was a teenager.
Yes.
When I was a teenager, I didn't think all I wanted to do was make money. Earn money, try to make money.
Just got to get some money.
That's not it. I have learned since this, money is not everything. I enjoy the learning part. So much I have learned since this. Me and my wife are so close. I thought we was close, but this brought us even closer together.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Family is more important to you. So there's and you look at people different.
Yeah.
You look at life different.
Life completely different. But before we get into that, I want to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come right back and pick up at that part. All right. Okay. So hang tight, and we'll be right back.
I give hope. I give life. I give me. Join us and give life.
4 years ago, someone gave me hope and gave me life by giving me a heart.
25 years ago, someone gave me hope and gave me life. I received a liver that saved my life.
I support organ and tissue donation because 4,000 people in the Mid-South need a life-saving organ.
I can give them hope. I can give them life. I can give me.
You can give life too.
Currently, 4,000 Mid-Southerners are in need of a life-saving transplant. Join Mid-South Transplant Foundation and give hope, give life.
Register to become an organ and tissue donor at midsouth.transplant.org.
All right, we are back with Mr. Richard Edmondson, who is also one of our amazing ambassadors here at Mid-South Transplant Foundation. And did you see yourself in the commercial?
Yes, I did.
When I ran, I was like, "That's right, Richard's in the commercial."
Yeah, they got me in there.
Right. So we definitely appreciate everything you do with us at Mid-South Transplant Foundation. Yes, it's a lot of fun. But I wanted to go back because I've never heard someone who, like you said, died for 30 minutes and came back. So that just blew my mind. So now you really have a different meaning to what it means to have a second chance at life.
Yes.
So what does having that second chance mean for you now?
I look at life totally different. I want to help people.
Yeah.
I want to let people know about organ donation, what you can do. I look at the world different,
right,
than before. Before it was all about work, money, having all these material things. That is
right.
not.
It's completely different now.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
I look at people different. I have got so many friends now, especially I got them nurses down there.
Yeah. Everybody know Richard.
I can't ever say enough about them.
Yes, it's
I
definitely
understand what they went through and what they did.
Yeah.
And they just helped me and my wife too.
Yeah.
Because they helped her go deal with this just like I was having to deal with it.
Yeah.
And you look at people different and you're so thankful for them.
Right. It's like the gratitude.
That we're all still in touch with each other.
Right. And I just think about for me because for me, I got my transplant at 15 and now I'm a few weeks away from my 32nd birthday. Oh. And just to look back on life, me as a teenager and now as an adult, and how different, like you said, you look at life completely different because I'm supposed to have been dead at 15. Well, no, I went on dialysis at 13. I was supposed to be dead back then. And to be able to get that second chance and to look at life, what I call from a different perspective, because now we have a completely different outlook on what life is. Because at first we was just living just to be living. Death or anything never crossed our minds. We just living, like you said, going to work, making money. And for me, it was going to school, trying to be cool with all the kids in high school and all of that crazy teenage stuff. Yes. But going through this whole transition of having a second chance at life make you look at life from a different perspective. And okay, I got a second chance. Now, how can I really make this second chance work? Yes. What can I do this go round to make it worthwhile, to show God or to the higher power, whoever you believe in, to know that you did a good service in giving me that second chance, because I'm gonna prove to you I'm gonna, use this gift to the best of my ability to be able to share the gospel or share encouragement and education about what organ and tissue transplantation is and how it not only saved my life, but saved a lot of people's lives as well.
Yes.
Right. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just listening to you.
Right.
Agreeing with everything you have said.
Yeah. So it's man, it's just crazy on how thankful and how appreciative of life. I mean, every day, because I know for me, I wake up every morning. Thank you, God, for another day. Because somebody didn't wake up this morning, but I did.
Yeah.
So it's like it gives you that motivation that you got another chance to get the message out. If you had a bad day the day before, well, we're gonna try it again today, and you go forth and try to do the best you can to be the best vessel or the best, steward in life to, push our positivity and push our education and encouragement to help other people. Now, with that being said, I want to go to, now that you've had your transplant, what have you been able to do now that you haven't been able to do before?
Before I was just working.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have time for anything, really. Now I get to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
I get to look at their lives. I get to tell them there is hope. When, especially people that's dealing with transplant. I can't work. I don't have my strength like I used to. But I can still talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I can share the word, share people of what I went through, and what, if I can make it through it, you can make it through it.
Exactly. That encouragement.
And I remember a guy came to me up here at Dyersburg State. His brother was in the Baptist East waiting on a transplant.
Mm-hmm.
And he was losing hope. Him and his wife was both losing hope. Like, we're not going to get a transplant. It's not going to happen. And he asked if I'd go down and talk. I said, of course. I enjoy going down there. So, because every time I go down there, I always walk through there and say hi to the nurses and say, how are y'all doing? But I went down there and talked to him. I said, look, don't give up hope. It'll happen. It may take a few days. It may take a month.
Yeah.
But just hang in there. I was in there for 3.5 months about, and I said, God will get you. He got you this far. He's not going to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
He will get you through it.
Yeah.
And we talked 15, 20 minutes. And he came to me at the school up here at Dyersburg and told me his brother just got a heart. It was about a week later. He got a heart. And I was so thankful because they were losing hope. They was trying to keep their hope up.
Right.
And I told them my story and shared what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And that he told me it made him feel better after they talked to him. He went down there and talked to him.
Yeah.
Made him feel better.
And that's definitely important, because it's like just hearing somebody else, and that goes into my next question or my next point on us as recipients sharing our stories, how
Mm-hmm.
powerful it is, because it's people like you said, the gentleman that you talked to, who him and his wife had lost hope.
Yeah.
For us as recipients, the power of our story, it goes beyond measure, because we never know who will be able to relate. Somebody may not be able to relate to my story, but they may be able to relate to yours.
Yeah.
So and that's why I feel it's very, very, very important
Mm-hmm.
for us as recipients to share our stories, because we don't
Mm-hmm.
know who we may reach.
Yeah.
And it's like just to get the word out and to show people that we went through this. You too can get through it as well. But I know for me as a kidney transplant recipient, I understand that everybody is not going to get a kidney. Yeah. I understand that, but we have to realize that you cannot base your life around dialysis for us who are on dialysis or on kidney transplant. Mm-hmm. So you can't base your life around your sickness. You have to plan your life outside of that, because my thing is, on dialysis, we was going to treatment 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3.5 hours. Yeah. So my thing was, if you're doing that for 3 days a week, last time I checked, it was 7 days in a week. So what are you doing those other 4 days? So the thing is, find a way to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
But of course, we can't do it like quote unquote normal people, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So we may not can go from A to B to get to that destination.
Yeah.
We may have to go A, B, C, and then D to
Mhm.
get there. But the whole thing is you get there eventually. Like you said,
Yeah.
now with you back in school, you may not be as sharp as you was when you was younger, but the thing is you're taking it step at a time, and eventually you're gonna get there and get to your degree and do what you want to do with your life, which I think is great. But I definitely wanted to ask you, why do you think it's important for us as recipients or patients or donor families to share our personal stories?
I think God wanted me to, gave me a purpose.
Yeah.
He wanted me to reach as many people as I can with my story, to give them hope.
Yeah.
Because some people just will give up. They don't think they got any chance for it. They just give up hope. And that's my thing.
Yeah.
Is God gave me this. He brought me through this. He didn't bring me through this for me to just sit here.
Right.
I cannot do the work I used to do, but I can do a different work. I can talk to people. I can
It's a way
share the
around
story with everybody that's willing to listen.
Yeah.
That's why I go to ER schools to talk to ER classes. I talk to nurses program, and anybody that's willing to listen and let them know their job is so important. They may not hear it, but the people that worked on me, I can never repay them for what they did to get me to this point.
Yeah.
God gave them the ability to do their job,
Right.
to learn this field, to learn to be a doctor or a nurse. God gave them that ability, and that ability saved my life.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I think I need to get out there and share what they gave me a new life, new outlook on life.
Right. Because we're definitely like I said with our book, a living testimony.
Yeah.
It's like we have a testimony to share in hopes that it blesses somebody else to, like you said, give them hope and to stay in that fight, no matter how tough or how rough the thing may be. Just as long as you can have the faith the size of a mustard seed, God can move mountains.
Yeah.
So it's just keeping that faith, keeping that hope, and being able to share the story as much as we can to help, because we never know who's listening, right?
That's why I do what I do.
Yeah,
I talk to people. I will go to colleges and talk. I try to talk with people at the University of Memphis. Anybody willing to listen.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time that representation is very, very important to see somebody that looks like you, or see somebody that's going through the same thing that you're going through and who's been through it.
Yes.
Powerful. Because I know for me, when I was on dialysis, and I didn't see nobody, one who looked like me, who went through dialysis and got through it. Yeah. So I was in that position. I told myself, and I made a promise to myself, that when I get in a position to be that person, to have somebody to look up to, I wanted to be that person I wish I had growing up for somebody else, because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And now for both of us in that position to serve in the community and to serve in the different forms and different ways of, giving back and sharing our stories and all of that stuff, is definitely important.
Like I said, I'm doing everything I can to get the word out there.
Yeah.
I'm working with high school kids now.
Yeah.
And hoping, because they want to get out there and let people know about being a donor, becoming an organ donor.
Exactly.
And it's important. God is going to give you a new body when you get to heaven.
Right.
That's it. Why do I need to let my body be used for something else, to give somebody else a chance at living? because that's what happened to me.
Exactly. And that goes into the last question I wanted to close us out with.
Okay.
Is for that person or those people who's going to who's on the fence about becoming a registered organ and tissue donor. What would you say to them?
I used to be the same way. I didn't think about it until I was faced with it. And now that I'm faced, I went through this, I understand it now. I understand, and I try to tell everybody about what all you can do and how many people you can help. The Lord is going to give you a new body. That's the way it's going to be when I get to heaven.
Yeah.
And I want to give somebody else a chance to live like somebody gave me a chance to live. I was very blessed by that, and I want to do that in return. Whatever they need from me, and they said I can even donate the heart I got donated to me. The doctors told me.
Yeah.
So this heart that I was given can go on and help somebody else again. So I appreciate everything everybody's done for me. The family that decided to become a donor. I wouldn't be here without it.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just, I want everybody else to know you can help. It's amazing how many people you can help.
All right. All right. And there you have it, guys. That is our time for today. Richard, thank you so much for coming on with us today and sharing your amazing story. I hope and pray that it reaches somebody and encourages them to become a registered organ and tissue donor. So again, thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't mind. I enjoy telling people what me and my wife have been through, of what it's like, and be thankful for, all the doctors and the nurses that have always been around me. They give me so much encouragement, and that's what I'm doing. I want to share my story to let people know, become a donor, save somebody's life. You can help more than just one life. You can
Exactly. And for you guys who are looking at us or watching this episode live on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and of course, leave us a comment below, letting us know what's your takeaway from this episode. If you are listening to us on podcast platforms, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get the notification every time a new episode is released. Give us a 5-star, and of course, leave us your feedback and let us know what did you get from this episode as well. Now, for those of you who are in the tri-state area, that is the states of Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi, you can go to our website at www.midsouth.transplant.org, and you can become a registered organ and tissue donor from our site. Now, if you're outside of the tri-state area, you can also go to registerme.org. You can fill out the application and select the state that you're in to be registered in your state. All right. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before I let you go, I got to tell you, no matter the opinions of others or adversity you may face in your life, always believe in yourself, because I know I believe in you. And you guys have a great rest of your week. And until next Tuesday, I will see you guys right back here on Stories of Hope podcast. Take care.